Let's fight. How are you guys doing out there? Happy Monday. Happy Monday, folks. Trust that you guys have had an awesome weekend. You've had a great Saturday, a great Sunday, and you had an awesome Monday. You put in the work, you earned that pay the right way. Happy that you guys can join us. Tremendously pleased for all those persons, or rather, at all those persons who would have joined us on Saturday as we celebrate 1 year. We are tremendously pleased. Thank you guys for joining us. And for those who did, we had a fantastic time. We had a great time. Wish that more of you guys could have joined us. Nonetheless, the right folks were there. And we had a fantastic time. And 1 second, and I'm right with you guys. Yep, so we had a fantastic time, guys, celebrating our very first anniversary. 1 year we've been here, and folks called us afterwards to tell us that they really enjoyed that program. We simply just opened up the phone lines and persons called. We had lots of laughs, give their well wishes. Folks, when I came off of that program, I had 100 and something missed calls. So many people wanted to come on board and to share in that experience with us, celebrating our first anniversary. So good to see all of you joining us this evening. I see Everett Small and Susan McDonald. I see Anthony Arjun and Onessa Wardine, Francis Escourse, Andrew Cuthbert. I see Norris Nurse. Thank you, Norris, for partnering with us, for being such a special part of In the Ring. I see Orwin Don Cook. Don, good to see you there. Good to see you, Don. Great to see Don. Doreen, Jenny, Rodney, Smith, plenty names these folks got. Guys, great to see each and every one of you. And as we come on the program this evening, we got to share the live stream. I am really heartened to see so many of you joining us this evening. Guys, we were in our second year. Woo! Year 2, Welton Blue, good to see you. Laverne, Harry Charan, Kelman, Passad. Guys, really good to see you. Sharon Joseph, all you fantastic folks. Guys, I'm ready to get into the fight card. Share the live stream. You guys know what you got to do when you come into the ring. As we enter the Coliseum, as we enter the arena, guys, we got to share the live stream. We are so privileged that you guys can join us. I see Altia Bernard and Shirley Withers and Roxanne Odessa Jacobs. I see Odwin Lake is in the Coliseum, is in the arena. Diane Gravesandi. I see Denise Mitchell. I see Albert Morgan. All you fantastic folks, a good evening to all of you. Albert Morgan watching from number 51 Village. Big shout out to number 51 Village. Respect and manners to number 51. Anne-Marie Selby is here as well. Guys, I am so happy to be in year 2 with you fantastic folks. Volme and all you great people. You Tandy Grant and Yvonne Benjamin. Guys, share the live stream. Those of you who are joining us on Twitter, we want to see those retweets. Those of you who are joining us on Facebook, we want to see those shares. Those of you guys who are going to be joining us on YouTube, guys, subscribe to our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, retweet, share, subscribe, follow us on Facebook as well. Whichever page you guys are joining us from this evening. If you guys are joining us from the Christopher Jones page, we want you guys to tune in there, as we want you guys to share the live stream from there. You guys are joining us from the APNU AFC page. Guys, we got to stay vigilant. We got to stay militant. We got to stay on the forefront. We got to disseminate this information. If you're joining us on the APNU AFC page, share the live stream there as well. What about the Alliance for Change page? Share there as well, wherever you're picking us up from. Some of you guys are going to share the link via WhatsApp. Some folks are going to watch us on WhatsApp without even coming back to Facebook or even YouTube. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for joining us wherever you guys are joining us from. We want to see those emojis. Where are those emojis this evening? We want to see those emojis. Good night, Nicole Yaw. Good to see you, folks. and Andrew Cuthbert, Dion, Ayana, BB Sandyford, Kim Walker. Good to see all you fantastic folks like Cheryl, Ben, and Derica. Is it Ferguson, Paulette Hawk, Kippins? All of you great folks, all of you fantastic people. Thanks for joining us in the ring this evening, guys. We want to see those emojis, and we want to see those shares as well. Guys, a lot of people name calling tonight. A lot of people name calling. I'm excited to get to the fight card. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to get to the fight card. Guys, we really hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend, whatever you did this weekend. And we really want to thank those persons who would have joined us to celebrate 1 year. Again, we had such a great time. We were left feeling very heartened and on cloud nine all weekend. And that show is still on our Facebook page. It's still on YouTube. So those of you who missed it, you can go back a little later on and watch it. But while you're here, guys, we want you guys to share the live stream. We are going to be joined later on in the evening by Amanza Walton-Desir, Member of Parliament. We're going to be talking about crime. We're going to be talking about some foreign affairs issue. We're going to be talking about the economy. And we're going to be joined by Mr. Kemraj Ramjatan as well, guys. So we got a packed program for you guys. We are ready to get into it. And as we go, folks, we invite you to share the live stream. A lot of people name calling, guys. A lot of people name calling, like Kim Walker, Michelle McKay, and Margaret Nelson. Margaret, how you doing? Donna, Simon, your name calling too. Desiree Mars, your name calling. I heard my name calling just today by geotechnical engineer Mr. Sires. My name calling too. All we name calling. Rowena Cummins, your name calling as well. A lot of people name calling this evening. Frank Anthony name calling. Utad name calling. Jack Dio name calling. All the Jagabats. Rohi name calling. Rohi name calling. Ramatar, Donald Ramatar name calling. A lot of people name calling tonight. Folks, I am so privileged that you guys are here with us. People name calling. Let's get right to it, guys. You know we got to talk about the Jagabats. Because y'all know them. I know them. We know them. These Jagabats. Folks, they're easy, you know. They're easy. And I know that you guys know these Jagabats are easy. And that is why we out here. That is why we out here night after night. Now we can say year after year. Oh, ouch. Fighting the Jagabats. Confronting the Jagabats. Staying vigilant and staying militant. Why don't you take the opportunity and share the live stream, folks? Here we go. Frank Anthony name calling. I tell y'all. So COVID-19 cases going up. 55 plus new cases. Yep. Remember, folks, when this Jagabat, Frank Anthony, and Team Installation took over, you had 474 confirmed cases. To date, it is 36,875. To date, 474 they took over from. Now it is 36,000 plus. And there were 21 deaths, folks. There were 21 deaths on August 2nd, 2020. Today, it is 959. We're pushing on 1,000. So much for good management. So much for good management. You know, I disagreed with a letter we saw in the press just last weekend attributed to K.A. Juban Yassin praising Frank Anthony or sometime last week. We can't do that when we look at these figures. When we see we got 36,000 confirmed cases and the COVID-19 governance and policy is all over the place, how can we praise Frank Anthony? As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, that is why we brought a no confidence motion. It's one of the reasons why we brought a no confidence motion against that installed minister. Against him. That being said, they want you to swallow another pill. They're not telling you and I enough lies, misinformation, and propaganda on a daily basis. They want we swallow another pill. So them guys now contemplating the COVID pill. No longer an injection. Frank Anthony is reported as saying that he is monitoring the global developments where it concerns the COVID pill. There are two on the market currently, apparently. One is called Paxlovid. Paxlovid. And some of y'all might be swallowing that very soon. If these jagabats have a chance. Paxlovid. And then they got another one called Monupiravir. Monupiravir. That is the other one. Monupiravir. Some ugly names if you ask me. Paxlovid and Monupiravir. Those are the two COVID pills on the market. And according to this installed government, they are contemplating procuring that to test on y'all, to test on us, the COVID pill. So then there's not enough that we swallowing the pills that they're already shoving down our throats. They're now gone into Paxlovid and Monupiravir. Yep, that's where we're heading, guys, to the COVID pills. Picture of the day. Picture of the day. And this one go wallet popcorn are the Coke folks. Picture of the day. Janet Edwards and Paulette Hawk Kippins, Diane Fordyce and Lores Dennis and Waldo Robinson, Anthony Higgins Arjun. Take the opportunity and share the live stream. Guys, we don't make any bones about it. You know, we hungry for the shares. We licorice it. And we want to see those emojis as well. We want to see what's happening out there. Picture of the day. Look them boys. Look them boys. Now, this is the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Home Affairs, May Toussaint Thomas. Congratulations, May. May is expecting, and largely so any day now. May's been busy. That's not the government work. And also Frank Anthony. Remember just last week we see Frank Anthony on his Facebook post say that he has gotten married. He has gotten married. So these guys have been busy and not with the government work. So congrats, May. Any day now. And then we got Robeson there, if you can recognize him. And then you got the one and only Stan Govaya. The question could be asked, who's the minister? Stan dress up bad. Stan dress up bad and so there. Apparently, hit St. John's holding back Frank. Or rather holding back Stan Govaya. Media personality, broadcaster, now turned PR officer there at the Guyana Police Force, Public Relations Department. Stan dressed to the T. Folks, Robeson ain't got nothing on Frank. What do you guys say? You can't style a stylist? So this is the photograph of the day. You have May Toussaint Thomas, PS of Home Affairs. You got the installed minister himself, Robeson Horatio, Bringsley Horatio Ben, and then we got Stan Govaya. Can't style a stylist, folks. That's our picture of the day. And guys, as we are on Horatio Bringsley Horatio, this installed Minister of Home Affairs, this jagabat, our attention is constantly drawn to this spiraling crime, folks. Spiraling crime. And I want to circle back to that press conference you had on crime and what this installed administration calling the global, logistics crisis that is, according to them, driving up the cost of food and hence the cost of living. They always want to blame something. So we're circling back there, especially to what? This chief jagabat, catfish, y'all know what he said about crime. He said one crime is too much. Should be many, but nevertheless, who's perfect? One crime is too many. Well, we can call this a press conference. We call this a press conference. It was a press conference. Ali sick. The man sick. Don't take our words for it. Folks, we want to light on your fan. We pulled together a handful of the coughs in the first 15, 20 minutes, was a whole hour plus press conference. Take a look. Y'all take a look for yourself and tell us people, if alien sick. Take a look. Tell we if alien sick. Tell we.
I want to address two specific
Tell we, y'all tell we.
that
right? Y'all tell we
is
if
of great
sick.
interest to the world and of course to our country. These two issues has to do with the global supply chain crisis and the issue of crime and what is our policies or programs or the measures that we're going to put in place to address these issues. Presenting you with the facts, with impact global challenges is having on our. I think it is very important for nation and what occurs globally, but the impact on supply chain as a instance, the zero not excluded from this phenomenon. Some indication that by not meet the demand, and if there is so all of this is affecting the. That is why food production, because this is critical in addressing the issues. We're seeing increases in the prices. How is rice and sugar affected? Well, the price to feed production. So if you have a 40% increase stock, and we are seeing that, that the cost of feed is increasing in a few moments. Now, already volatile situation that would lead to more increases in factory price. Can you imagine this? The increases that we are seeing, fast-paced increases for goods. And in China, for example, is the fastest increases we have seen since the early 90s. In the United States, let's take the United States. We have seen inflationary pressures. There is something that we call a moral responsibility. The measure, where is petty, where is major, one crime is too much. But let me tell you something.
Y'all tell me. I ain't want to lie on them. Y'all tell me what Irfan got. I see somebody there say Irfan got TB. Well, I don't know about that. Somebody say Irfan got TB. Somebody say Irfan got COVID. Y'all tell me. I ain't want to lie on them. Folks, y'all sharing this live stream. Y'all showing us those emojis. We want to see them. I don't want to lie on them. That being said, folks, I want to show you as well. Irfan said in this press conference, he said crime is decreasing. But I want you to listen to what he says as he arrives.
Has been decreasing.
As he arrives at that position, that crime is decreasing. Listen to what he says. Right? Because you know why he says that? The diplomatic community, the business sector, foreign investors are crying out where crime is concerned. And so it is a competition with the previous years. You better share the live stream because we're talking facts tonight. We ain't lying for nobody. We talking facts. Listen to what Irfan says. And then Irfan arrives at the conclusion that crime is decreasing. Listen to this jagabat. Listen to Catfish. And then make your own assumptions from there. Listen to him. Listen to the fella.
Crime has been decreasing in Region 1. We have the largest increase of crime. 132.4% increase in crime. If you look at rape, we had a 55% increase. The issue of robbery on the arms. Region 6, we had an increase of robbery on the arms. Region 7 and Region 9. Those persons with illegal weapons, or those persons who are associated with criminal activities. I have a message for you too. Very soon we'll launch a program, very confidential program, to bring you in once you want to change your life. We want a discussion with you. We want to talk to you to give you an alternative pathway to earning an income and living a decent life. So there are challenges. There are challenges. Crime has been decreasing. Crime has been decreasing.
Folks, y'all hear that?
One.
Y'all hear that, folks? Total confunction nonsense. So when the people rob you, kill you and all that, government wants to have the installed government wants to have a conversation with them. They rob you of your valuables, rob your family of their life, traumatize you. Oh, the government wants to have a conversation with them. That is what they want to do. They want to have a conversation with them, ladies and gentlemen. Mind you, these are the folks that says one crime is too much. Not many, it's too much. But he wants to have a conversation with them. And folks, as I have your attention here, I'm warning y'all now about Saturdays. I am warning y'all about Saturdays. In the context of crime, Carla Forbes, I'm warning y'all. Karen Adolphus, Night Bell Cicheran, Karen Thorne, Aubrey Alexander, y'all better share the live stream tonight. We gotta be vigilant. One crime is too much. And Saturdays is even worse. Y'all market days. Kip Scott, Clayton, Rowena, Selena Fraser, on the market days, we ain't going wrong by big market. Those folks coming home for Christmas, Saturdays is a no-no. Listen to why. Listen to why. Saturdays is a no-no. Listen to why. Saturdays is trouble. Trouble. Listen to why.
On Saturday, if you look at it here, on Saturday, 92 robbery on the arm so far this year. So on Saturday is what we will consider a high-risk day.
Saturdays, high risk. Saturday, I didn't say so. It's Catfish himself. Saturdays under these jagabats is a high risk day. It is a high risk day. Saturday is a high risk day. But is it whole day Saturday? It might be a special time. Who knows? Might be a special time on Saturdays. Somebody ought to share their life. Let people see what's happening in this country. Here what time Saturday. Here what time Saturday.
We have broken down not only by days, but by the time in the day when crime occurs. So we have by region, by days, and now even by the time during the day that that people are most vulnerable. For example, if you look here, you will see that between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m., that is when most of the robbery on the arms occur. Between 12 p.m. to 6 p.m.
The man got his coloring book, and between 12 and 6 p.m., stay inside. Crime prevalent. But just today, folks, on the same issue of crime, we learned that 2013 was an interesting year. 2013, ladies and gentlemen, was an interesting year. And these figures I'm about to reveal to you came out of the Guyana Police Force just today. We're not inventing them here in the ring. We are not inventing them. We are giving you the figures as the Guyana Police Force released it today. Folks, I want to see some emojis and we want to see some shares. Let this information go far and wide. 2013, under Ramatar and Rohi, was an interesting year. Just recently, I heard Jagdio talk about what he considered propaganda, that PPP regime is known for crime and for drugs. Well, the police force told us that is so. Just today, hear what they told us about 2013. Hear what they told us about 2013, that year. And you all know Jagdio was the puppet pulling the strings in 2013. You know that, Oren Barker. You know that, Nicole Yaw. You know that, Laverne Peters. Jagdio was in the background pulling the string. So 2013 recorded the highest number of serious crimes over a 10-year period. Under Ramatar and Rohi, the highest 4,204 serious crimes occurred in this country in 2014, the highest in a 10-year period, folks. And the 10-year period includes 2021. Even though the year ain't finished yet, it includes 2021, which means it includes the Granger presidency. The highest serious crimes occurred in 2013. Again, 4,204. But more than that, robberies. 2013 had the highest amount of robberies. So when you didn't feel unsafe, you weren't going out of your mind. You weren't cuckoo. Or as Joe Hamilton would say, kokoko. You weren't kokoko or cuckoo. You were right to have those fears, because the police force told us today that 2013 recorded the highest category of all kinds of robberies. Under Ramatar and Rohi, you had 1,531. And some of you listening to me might have been robbed in this very same period. The highest serious crimes was under the PPP. The highest robberies was under the PPP. Poor management with crime, and it goes on. This is the police force put out these figures just today. Desiree Heliger, Buddy Bulkaran, Anne-Marie Selby, Wilton Blue. The Guyana Police Force put out this information just today. Break and enter larceny. It gets worse. In 2013 was the highest, again, over 10-year period, including the Granger administration. The highest, 4,204. Similar to serious crimes, break and enter and larceny, the highest in a 10-year period. So some of us like to bad talk Granger, but the man get a good life. The man had a good life, because we can infer that under Granger and Kemraj, serious crimes were being managed, robberies were being managed, break and enter and larceny was being managed. And you know what else? The clear-up rate for murder, which includes people being captured, passed through the courts, convicted. The clear-up rate for murder was the highest in a 10-year period under the Granger-led administration. This is the Guyana Police Force released this today. They had a clear-up rate of 78%, capturing people who committed murder, passing them through the court system, convictions, all of that accounts for this. The clear-up rate for murder was the highest. The police force, they work in. Granger them boys, they work in. But hold on. Folks, y'all gonna want to share this live stream tonight. Listen to the story here. Listen to the story here. Y'all remember, people were saying that under the Granger administration, right? People then shipping cocaine as plenty as under the PPP. It was borne out because 2018 marked the lowest recorded seizure of cocaine, 11.1 kg. 2018, the lowest period of seizure of cocaine, the highest. This is where we come back to Jagdio, who just recently said, oh, it's a misconception that drugs move a lot under the PPP. The highest seizure of drugs was in 2021. Believe it or not. This is according to the Ghana Police Force, the highest seizure of cocaine was 536.3 kg in 2021. And the year ain't finished yet. The year ain't finished yet. So when you're bashing Granger and bashing Kemraj, know the facts. This is the Guyana Police Force just today, ladies and gentlemen, put out this information. So when we spoke about the good life, we know robberies were done, break and enter and larceny was done, serious crimes, the clear up rate for murder looking good, and drugs didn't pass in. Like, no, it wasn't, and that is the facts. And just today, in that press conference on Friday, Irfan Ali talked about them having to work on rape. The rape percentage is high, 55%. It's high. And just today we saw this headline. Girl 15 pulled into bushes and raped. Girl 15 pulled into bushes and raped. They got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. The Granger administration worked. Kemraj as Minister of Public Security worked. What Robeson Ben doing? What is Robeson Ben doing? What is Irfan Ali doing? A whole press conference to talk about crime, and he ain't got a plan. No mention of Robeson Ben. You know what Irfan doing? You know what Irfan doing? Yesterday we celebrated Remembrance Day. This was King Jong Irfan. Kim Jong Irfan. No, it's not North Korea. It's Guyana. Irfan can't walk from State House right to the Cenotaph. Irfan can't walk from State House to the Cenotaph, folks. To the Cenotaph. He can't. So not only did he drive that short distance, look, bodyguards around the car. So one person asked, if something should happen and this car got to speed off, what happened to the man in front? What happened to the man in front? Y'all ever see anything like this? In all our lives, ladies and gentlemen, we have never seen anything like this. And look at the man that would be president. Who wanted to be president? So move over, King Jong Irfan, move over. Look this other one here now. Oh, Father. Oh, Father. Ramson no able. So the question was asked, whether it's the bodyguard in the back. Who is the man in the back? Because the man in the back looks like a bodyguard. No, it's not a bodyguard. We are reliably informed after very close examination that this is Kashif Mohammed, part of the Kashif and Shanghai duo. So I don't know if he get a walk with Ramson or what, but yesterday he was spotted in bodyguard mode. So folks, it is up to us to figure out what is happening here exactly. What is happening here exactly? And to help us understand some of these shenanigans, to help us understand some of the shenanigans. Folks, I want to welcome the one and only. I have Mr. Kemraj Ramjatan with me, and we are going to be joined by Amanza Walton-Desir shortly as well. Guys, it's pocket tour in this country, you know. Let's welcome Kemraj. Kemraj, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. Thanks very much.
Fantastic. Kemraj, we know that, you know, it is said that even a broken clock gets to be right twice daily. And from the numbers, this isn't cooked up numbers under the APNU AFC government. These are numbers that are being given out where crime is concerned. And on Friday, Irfan Ali had a press conference. Two things he focused on. He looked at the how the cost of living is going up and interventions that they are finding very challenging to make. And he looked at crime. And then today we saw the police force putting out these figures. It was half an hour on crime, but still half an hour later, you didn't have any comprehensive, coherent plan. What are your thoughts, Kemraj?
Well, you know, to a certain extent, I am happy that the president, without a security plan, talked about everything that we in the coalition government had planned and literally endorsed it.
And one of those things is the CCTV.
That's correct. The
Smart City
program, the at risk where you're going to give young people second chances. This was a government, even prior to 2015, never wanting to give second chances. They felt that you up the sentencing, jail them, lock them up because their business friends were telling them that should be the philosophy with young people especially. Lock them up. Now, he has come and made a somersault, that is the president, to state that, yes, we are going to have a program. Now, the program is going to be exactly as we have had during the it was called the
Citizenship Strengthening Program. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It was funded by the IDB to the tune of about $5 million. And I pleaded with the IDB to even extend it because they had a kind of a 3-year program. We wanted it to go over to 5 years. And if it comes to that, we are going to ask them for some more monies because we knew that after 2020, we were going to get the monies from the oil revenues that were going to come on. And that is an important program. Over 4,000 young people, and this could be verified by the ministry, got training in a number of entrepreneurial skills, welding, auto electrician. You go to New Amsterdam, it happened. We had a program at Kanji. We had one at Anna Regina, Linden, Georgetown, in several areas of Georgetown and so on. And a number of them, there were graduations at New Amsterdam. What's that school is called? I forgot, and so on. But apart from that, too, we also had, as a very big part of a plan, was the amnesty we granted to those who had firearms. You remember?
Correct.
And a number of people brought in their firearms over.
Kemraj, so all of this is basically borrowing. This is borrowing because,
but
again,
he's borrowing from a fella that regard himself as an academic and we can't find his first degree, to the extent that he's not acknowledging.
I think they call that plagiarism.
Well, you know,
in academic circles,
because when you ain't got nothing to do on the security front, it's a good idea to adopt that which was very, very well studied and researched and well organized already in the form of the coalition plan for security. And even the community policing. You don't even want to call it community policing, but strengthening the community policing of which you were heading. Remember, you were head of that thing.
Correct.
And all across the regions, especially the region now that has the less crime, you had set up a number of groups up there. Remember, Region 1?
Correct.
Region 1. And the community policing in Region 1 was doing a far better job than some of the members of the police force.
Because
Who today,
region 1 now is being identified as the place with the most crime. As a matter of fact, coming out of that same press conference, he said it has the most crimes there. And he wants to attribute that to the Venezuelan migrants.
yeah.
He said it's the
Well,
migrants.
Yeah, but I remember this community policing as a category. You did a wonderful job, and even the previous guy that you took over from did an extremely good job. And we had a lot of funding, boots and a whole lot of other things.
Yeah.
Batons and so on. Notwithstanding all of that, you still will have the crime. Crime's not going to be just shut off like that. But the safe city, the amnesty, the at-risk youth, is given second chances, community policing, and so on. And it is indeed true that the clear-up rate as a result of every time I go to the police officers' conference, I made mention of the fact that I want officers to always have that confidence that they must be regarded as, big brothers in the communities rather than bullies. And they must treat the community members like that.
Fantastic.
And, yes, we did a number of things, even breakdown.
We have Amanza Walton-Desir joining us. I want to pull her into the discussion because she found some of this press conference very, very bizarre as well. And Kemra should come back directly to some stuff that you were saying. The Irfan Ali did give credit. He said it very plainly. They have found that the areas where the smart city project is covered in region 4, they got tremendous improvements where crime is concerned. Again, that is center to the Granger administration crime plan that was instituted under the last administration. Now he wants to roll it out countrywide. Again, this is APNU AFC project being...
We had told the IDB that this must be countrywide. We wanted to go into the towns because the towns are the clusters for lots of crime. They got the most commercial areas, New Amsterdam, Anna Regina, and the other townships in Skeldon and so on. And we wanted those clustered area with the high crimes. Even I noticed you mentioned a colorful dashboard. That dashboard was being worked on in the coalition government. And we were asking that the statistics be put in and the clusters tell us where and when the crimes are occurring and what times actually and so on. But they've put it in a more colorful form. They've given the president, and the president feels that, it is his idea. He ought to have been very frank and truthful and honest to make a public acknowledgement that this is but a continuation of the APNU AFC's program in relation to security, which had brought down the crime rates, quite frankly. And he didn't want to mention that we have almost made zero piracy when you had so much of murders and slaughter in the Suriname end as well as the Venezuelan end. We literally brought that thing to zero, and today you're hardly hearing of any cases because the right people are now in jail. The right people are also in the Suriname's jail who are doing all that mannishness and wickedness and mischief. And so it is important. But I just want to make this additional point. I hope that they're also going to endorse, even if they don't want to tell the public about it, the Russell Coombs reforms. Mr. Russell Coombs was the British security expert that came here. And we spent a lot of money. The British gave us about 3 million pounds or 3 million US dollars and various reports on what you call human resource manual, creating a marine unit, creating an aviation unit for the Guyana Police Force, how to better work your budgetary allocations and so on, how to anti-corruption methods within the police force itself. All those are there in documents. I understand they've dismantled that kind of thing, but don't leave it in the shelf. I am asking the president and Blenheim and all the rest, please utilize these reports because they are very useful and valid.
Fantastic. Manzo, you've been in the parliament. We are 2 budgets out into this new installed administration. And it's quite strange that with what they call the global supply crisis, that is what they are attributing to their failed economic policy. As we often say here, the theme of the last budget was economic dynamism and resilience. Well, everybody know how that going, things tight. Now, lots of the measures they had in the first budget, right? They're saying, Amanza and Kemraja, they were so smart that they saw this global supply crisis, and that is why they took this tariff off of water, and they zero rate some of these other items, and brought down the cost of fuel in some instances. But the folks who are on the ground know that lots of these things were done on the Granger administration and just were made permanent under the PPP on the onset of COVID-19. So again, the plagiarism and the dishonesty, it's telling, Amanza.
Good evening, Sharon and Kamraj. Good evening to your viewers.
Good evening.
A failure to appreciate plagiarism and its consequences happens when you are not in receipt of a university education per se. So that these principles, elude you. But look,
That's fine.
the reality is that, Sharon, I wanna talk about the crime situation because I was listening to
us,
that
Amanza.
press conference. And in addition to all that Kemraj had said, one thing seems to elude your finale, and that is your people do not feel safe. It therefore doesn't matter what statistics you raise, how much flow charts you put on dashboards. Your people do not feel safe. And that is what matters. And if one were to listen keenly to the press conference, the statistics show that the crimes that cause people to feel the most unsafe are on the increase. So things like robbery on the arms and so on, robbery with violence. He has admitted based on the stats that they happen in prevalence in the streets. And so what that basically means, Mr. Ali ought to understand, is that the crimes that make people feel unsafe and the crimes that plunge society into fear are on the increase.
Fantastic.
That is the first observation that I wanted to make as it relates to that. It will be helpful for the president to understand that at the end of the day, coming now to this, the economic issues that we're facing, and at the end of the day, again, your people are feeling the squeeze. Things are tight. When I listened to the press conference, what I heard was a litany of excuses.
Yes, correct.
The question is, you are sitting in the seat of government. What are you doing about it? The woman that cannot feed her family tonight doesn't care about the interruption in the supply chain. What she knows is that she's a hardworking public servant. She has not had an increase for the last 2 years. However, the cost of living has risen exponentially. What she knows is that this COVID cash grant that he has referred to, she didn't get it because the people sharing it out bypassed her, either because of her
Correct.
ethnicity or her perceived political allegiance. What she knows is that she tried a kitchen garden and it didn't work and she got no relief for it. So the Irfan Ali has to understand that standing up to say, oh, it's happening all over the world will
It's
not
not
cut
enough.
it.
Yep.
It will not cut it. You are the government now, albeit installed, you're sitting in the seat of government, and therefore you have the responsibility to come up with creative solutions to make sure that your people have some kind of ease in this crisis.
Yep, yep. And you know, as you say that, Amanza, I want, and you talked about money. Kemraj, this administration, this installed administration, thinks that it can throw money at a problem and it's going to just disappear. And lots of these interventions, I heard Ashley Singh say, this will stimulate the economy. But it seems to, I don't know, the only thing left for the throw at this economy to stimulate it is the blue pill. They talked about throwing 2 billion.
Here, let me just mention this. Ashni is not an economist. You must
Who's
get
Ashley?
some financial or accountant or something. That is his area. And this thing calls for qualified economist. Now, that other one that we know that is a good ally is very much Russian oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem not to understand that we are in a westernized dynamic and a westernized economics, in which when you take huge billions of dollars and you ain't got the goods that are increasing proportionately with the huge billions that you got to throw after it, it will create an inflationary effect because you got more money now to spend on the same amount of goods. That is one of the local thing that is causing this explosive cost of living. But they have said that kind of thing of giving relief to their friends, $10 billion there, another step for COVID, and you take the bloody money and you take what is called deficit financing and you're pouring it over the same set of bygone that in an ordinary situation would have cost less. You're going to have to pay more for the bygone.
So here what the Jacob's telling us.
They just don't understand both the microeconomics and the macroeconomics of this thing. I am a lawyer, but I do quite a number of bits and pieces of reading and talk to some of the professionals. You even watch the news out of America. Trump is now being, or Biden is now being castigated for the same reason, you know, because he's throwing a lot of money into an economy. Some people feel that, yes, it will make the ordinary people feel better. Well, that is if the distribution of it is
but
equal.
we are the case study, because they're saying here that they threw $2 billion at the one-off $25,000 cash payment that a person's got. They threw $500 million at the discipline services in terms of bonus. They threw $8 billion in COVID relief for household. They threw 3.6 at schools at schools for schools and relief measures there. They threw 320 million at private schools, and the list goes on. But all of that money, they were convinced that if we throw all this money at the economy, it's going to start moving in a direction, and we get the praises. Nothing. So who has bewitched
it is the same thing? Is the same thing happening in the sugar industry? When you throw good money behind bad projects or bad policies,
about 15 billion
exactly
in the sugar industry thus far.
Thus far, that is
nothing
just they're 17 months or 18 months in government. You know, that is just that, or whatever is it, 14 months, whatever it is, and we were doing a number of things to help the industry. That aside, the trouble is that having right now a situation of where you have so much money tumbling after goods that are not qualifiedly going upwards or increasing, same thing you're going to have, inflationary effect.
Yeah.
And that is the trouble. You go now, you buy a whole set of things that people call in for a lot more money because people got a lot more money out there.
Yeah.
Some people that is. So they jack it up. And you, the poor man now, Lord, is why the buy gun gone up for $500 than a $200 we buy last week. And they don't understand it. And that is why all the time when in Parliament, I always have a rebuttal to Ashley Singh. Because he always say, I went to Skeldon and the people telling me how the life is enjoyable. Well, that is not true. All across this country, people are feeling the impacts. Oh, big time. Because once the prices go up in Guyana, generally, they don't come down back. Even if you start producing more, all of it just stable off.
But Cameron, You're absolutely right, because throughout that, if you want to call it a press conference that Irfan had, he kept begging producers, he kept begging the manufacturers to let the money they're throwing into the economy filter down to the people. He was literally begging. He said, oh, let the money filter down there. But what you said there is what is happening. These big businesses in passing on the money
Absolutely.
to the grassroots people. Money
Yeah.
got for make, and then by is making the money.
And that is exactly the rogue capitalism, what I call mercantilism here. They love to buy and sell. And they will always buy and sell at a profit margin that will increasingly grow. We don't have what is called benign mercantilist in Guyana. You go all across, is more money they want. And a lot of them don't plow it back into Guyana. They carry all in America. So we have a very, very nasty kind of cyclical thing that is going to
Yeah,
happen here, that is
yeah.
going to make this this economy one of the worst in the Caribbean, notwithstanding that we got so much of oil money.
It is. Manza, in Irfan's words, he was appealing to the moral responsibility. Now, this is a government with no morals, appealing to the moral responsibility of the producers and so on to pass the benefit on to the consumer. And we know that ain't going to happen no place. While we on that, some big ticket items coming out of this administration, they like these big projects. Amanza, but they can't handle them. As a matter of fact, there are a number of projects currently that they want to do no feasibility study on, no environmental impact assessment on. It's just no brainer. According to Jack Dio, the new Harbor Bridge gonna work. It's a no brainer, right? The gas to oil thing they want to do at Wales is a no-brainer, mind you. They said they were going to open back Wales and Sugar Estate. That idea has been shelved. Gas to Shore project is a no-brainer. They don't want to do these studies on none of these projects. Amanza, this is what Starbuck News said just today. This government, the PPP, is still rampaging on the same attitude, rampaging rather on with the same attitude, which brought us the white elephants of the Skeldon factory with all its grave consequences for the sugar industry and the Milo Falls Road, among several others. They said they got the same attitude they come back with. These Jagabats.
A couple of things. I disagree with Kevraj on one thing that he said. It is not that they don't know and understand. It is that they don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think they care. They have never cared, this cabal, about the working class. You hear Irfan Ali talk about everybody, and he barely mentioned a proposed increase for public servants.
Those are the only people money and throwing at, the public servants.
I recall when the APNU AFC was in government and public servants were receiving the increases that they so rightly deserve, Jack Dio made a statement that they will be required to pay it back. And I believe that this is what he is doing right now. Because if you look at the increase in cost of living without the correlating increase in salaries of public servants, they have paid and repaid those salary increases. And so this is what he's doing. I remember that press conference. He said that they will have to pay back all of them who are accepting these increases. And this is what is happening. Because if you understand the man, he doesn't forget. And if it's 2 years later, he has to exact his way on the situation. And this is what he is doing. Now, as it relates to Skeldon, it continues to be a monument to the fact that the PPPC is unable to handle large projects. And this is where I say to the Guyanese people that you have to not allow political loyalty to put blinders on your eyes, because it is our children and our children's children that will be saddled with this debt. Skeldon Sugar Factory has not worked, and we have to be repaying until 2033 millions of US dollars per year in loan repayments, and it has not worked. But because Barjagdio and his cabal understand that they can trade in political sentiment, and they can prey on ethnic insecurity and so on and so forth to get their way. They continue, as Tabrook News says, to rampage on through with the exact attitude. And the only people who are going to lose are the Guyanese people, because all of them will make off like bandits with their pockets fat, and we public servants, the working class, will be saddled with the repayment of loans, because they know that they can always pit Guyanese one against the other. The day that Guyanese stand up united and demand better stewardship from the PPP, better stewardship of the economy, I guarantee you we will see far, far better results. We are poised to weather this storm better than most, because we have some money in a sovereign wealth fund um, type arrangement. What is the government doing? What are the
Correct.
concrete
Correct.
plans to help Guyanese to weather this storm? There are none. And there are 700,000 of us here, close to 800,000. I was reading the other day, Sharon, about Togo, this little nation of 8 million people. And the Economist made an observation about a stimulus program that they put in place called Novici. I think it's Novici is the name of it. And what it is that they have actually done cash transfer and injections of cash into their citizens' hands, but they did it in a manner using mobile technology so that it didn't have a face. So if you were a citizen, you were signed up, and these transfers came to you as of right. So you're not who you're with, if you're Afro Guyanese or you're back in the AP and UFC. That was taken out of it. And it has shown remarkable results in that little nation of Togo.
Yeah.
And so the point is that they are models. And all that the PPPC has to do is humble themselves, consult with the opposition that represents 50% of the population, and let us get the best heads and hands to deal with these developmental issues. Sharon, you saw that report that says that by 2030, Georgetown may be
Yeah.
underwater.
Yeah.
What do Guyanese people think will happen? Those who are making and raking in the billions, they will go and they will hoard land higher up, and it is the poor and working class that will be left to fend. And I'm saying to our people, we have to open our eyes from now. Every For the last year and a half, ever since I've been on your program, I've been saying to us that these developmental challenges will require all of us to put hands on them.
Correct.
That we continue to have this government divide us, and we continue to see that it is only the poor and the working class Guyanese that will continue um, to suffer.
Great. Great. Any thoughts there, Kemraj?
Yeah, well, on the cash grant, that is exactly how we feel too that it should work. We want a consultation process. We want it to have parliamentary participation, and indeed, we can work out from the best practices models of all across the world to come to where each and every Guyanese can benefit. I feel a little subjective feeling on this issue that the very rich, if you're making $2-3 million like a businessman and some of these CEOs for them big banks and so on making, well, you're not entitled. You should be off of that list, as it were. But whatever it is, we should have a threshold level that ensures that people are going to get a portion of that pie. I also want us, whenever we are doing relief, this is different from cash grants now, like the flood relief and so on. You have to give the producers the money.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
number of the producers for the vegetables and all of them that suffered, they did not get. And more
Correct.
and more, the
Correct.
percentage is increasing. So you are not going to get the benefit of the producers now coming back with the next crop of okra and baigan and whatever, so that you would have gotten back the prices coming down or whatever. They gone and give friend and families,
The
and that is
nature of the
what has
beast.
happened. And
Yeah.
so the money was misspent. That is where corruption now erodes the productive capacity,
Yeah.
because the genuine farmer who got to go make back another crop, let's say of rice, and I know of a couple of fellas. One of them, I might have to arrange some administrative law case, because he got about 200 acres because he's associated with the AFC. He ain't get nothing. And
Wickedness.
this is the trouble that they're doing, because that man, had he gotten back, let's say the 65,000 or whatever, he could have gotten some monies that could have carried him to the next crop. The people now gone and take with the man tractor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Massey Ferguson got Massey in Associated Industries or whatever, Massey Associated. They take away the man big tractor that he had mortgaged there. And because of that,
Wow.
because he was supposed to get back the monies to pay.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
this is terrible. And that is another thing about public policy, that you have to set up very, very stringent measures and get personnel who are then going to distribute the money, because it's a hell of a thing when you're distributing revenue. You have to have very honest people, and you have to have a system. That is why we are now asking this government, give us all the 6,000 or 8,000 people who you gave the money to in the fraud relief. They don't want to do it.
Well, we still
Because
waiting for the audit. We're still waiting for the audit out of there, that Sharma. But the man said the COVID is preventing the COVID audit.
But the COVID can't prevent the 8,000 names and address and telephone number as to the people who had 2 acre to 200 acre of land, that you get 80,000, you get 800,000, you get $8 million. That could be easily done, because all are supposed to be there.
Yeah.
COVID not going to prevent clerical staff to type it up and put it on the website, put it on the agricultural ministry website. And we will now go and show the people out there, these are the names in 47 village, like my village, who and who got. Is it true? And then you test it as against that which the ground people will say. But me collect that, look, my name there, that is corruption.
Yeah.
And so on. And then we could catch them. But the PPP was never strong at this. Remember, they get thrown out because of an anti-corruption crusade. They are very, very corrupt. A lot of them, including senior ministers right now, they had their visas taken away because of the corruption the American embassy found.
Well, they come back. They come back.
What is coming back? All coming back now.
They come back, Cameron.
All of a sudden, they're saying that we are going to right this situation. We're going to send back to the flood relief people. We're sending back the agricultural officers, and so on and so on and so on. The thing done. People spend out the money. Where are they going to get back the money?
Bare foolishness.
And if they want to send sentencing, like what they're doing for the elections amendment, 10 years jail and $10 million, they should start increasing that, because there's a whole set of their supporters.
Correct.
Correct. 10-year jail and $10 million fine.
Wickedness. Wickedness. Kemraj, I want to thank you for coming by. I'm going to let you go. I want Amanza to stick around, because I'm going to pick her brain on what's happening there at this PNCR race for leadership and so forth. Kemraj, thanks very much.
Let me stay out of that, Amanza. A very good night to you guys. Take care.
Good night, Kemraj. Always a pleasure.
Great. Manza, stick around. I want to share some information that came across our desk from Foreign Affairs. And then I want to pick your brain on that. Folks, don't go nowhere. Look at the nonsense happening at Foreign Affairs. Let me set this thing up quick, because it's purgatory. And we shared with you some of the firings that happened at Foreign Affairs quite recently. You tell her know one thing. What he's doing there at Foreign Affairs is a set of nonsense. But we got UTAT files this evening. Let me just set it up very quickly. We got the files, and we're going to share it with the public. Folks, it's a good opportunity for y'all to share the live stream. We're going to share UTAT files with y'all. It's bare total confunction nonsense happening here. And we ain't having it. So let me set this up quick. Get Amanza's impression. I don't want mind Amanza business. We don't lie here. We mind your business. They don't call it fast book for nothing. We like mind the business. We love to mind the business. So let me take some of this, and then I come right back to Amanza, because it's bare madness happening there at Foreign Affairs. Bare madness happening at Foreign Affairs. So, folks, the failed leadership of this jagabat at Foreign Affairs. Yeah, know this is a man missing in action. Right? Foreign Affairs and autopilot. Missing in action. Missing in action. Failed leadership. Right? Folks, we telling you, there's no easy day at Foreign Affairs. This whole government in every sector, every ministry is confusion power and is pocketry. And UTAD is no different. So some information that came across our desk tell us, or is telling us, big trouble at Foreign Affairs. And it's on some very, very sensitive issues, like our borders. Like our borders. No easy day at Foreign Affairs, and we knew it. We knew that UTAD, this house slave, was a mismatch for Foreign Affairs. No easy day at Foreign Affairs. So, as it concerns the team that is fighting on the international stage and the ICJ, where it concerns that controversy or controversy, depends if you went to IFLOT University or went to Ishmael, like me. It's bare confusion. Because you know why? This government wicked, stink and dirty. And even at that level, you would think that Gail Teixeira and UTAD could put aside politics. Well, we understand that Carl Greenidge had to complain to Irfan himself concerning the breakdown of decency in those internal meetings. Folks, if you blow too hard, this whole government would collapse. It is on every front. Listen to what part of that letter said. Now, Tad wants his own people through PPP to go in there and to handle these sensitive matters. He own people, not professionals, you know. Listen to what part of that letter read. Listen to what part of that letter read. A long letter to Irfan. Here what Carl said, I have found the behavior of the ministers, this is Gail and Tad, at the session out of place. This is how they carry on, you know, and they insisted the meeting be recorded. I have found this was a meeting that took place, one of the many meetings that took place on the border controversy internally. Carl Greenidge said, I have found the behavior of the ministers at the session out of place, offensive, and calculated to offend. Many of the claims they are making are ridiculous and suggest that the ministers not only have a problem with myself, but with the external lawyers. Whilst Ambassador George, this is the man that this jagabat, UTAD, total inexperienced in international sales, once there. While Ambassador George is not without skills, he is clearly not a lawyer. He is clearly not a lawyer. And in combination with Mesquite, cannot replace as our external lawyers and the maritime expert. This is an area Amanza has some experience in. Maritime export. Man's a qualifier, you know, y'all don't watch it. And the letter goes on. That, however, seems to be the minister's intention. He want professionalism. This camp Tad, this fraud Tad, this house slave Tad. He want professionalism. And to further prove that, we share this on this program already. That is why UTAD and them have gone after foreign affairs staff at the consulates around the world, at the embassies around the world, and we put out this list weeks ago, the blacklist. And we weren't intending it to be a pun, but it's truly the blacklist, because one Indian person on this list, one Indian person on this list is friends and family. Where the PPP is concerned, it is friends and family. Friends and family. And we're going to continue to expose them. It is friends and family that caused Sabbath News to call out just Sunday, this statement construction company The same PPP friends and family. Here what Starbuck News said about them. The public purse is not to be trifled with, and President Ali's administration and those at Empatab should be acutely aware of this. The award of this contract to Statement Construction Company would be a joke if the possible repercussions weren't so serious. Starbuck News again just today, and I quoted this earlier, talked about the PPP and how they manage stuff. In an editorial themed government for the people, it says this government is still rampaging on with the same attitude which brought us the Whiteley Fund, the Skeldon factory, with all its grave consequences for the sugar industry, and the Milo Falls Road project, among several others. The people know one goddamn thing what they're doing. That is the point we are making here. They know one thing what they're doing, and they are moving professional, competent people out of the way to bring in friends and family. Things like border issues. You want friends and family there? You want competent people. You want the experts. So I don't know what the hell UTAD is doing. I don't know. But maybe Amanza knows. She bright like that. Manza got degrees and masters and all kinds of things. Manza makes sense of this thing for us. Make sense of it. Thank you for your audio, Amanza. I think it's me or it's you.
Sorry, it's me. Are you hearing me now?
What's happening, Amanza? What's happening? I mean, UTAD can rise to this moment.
Jared, it is just symptomatic of the fact that the PPPC simply does not have a grip on our foreign policy and our foreign relations. Look, I have a master's in international maritime law, and I would never think about replacing external counsel that we have, for the simple reason you need to appreciate your limitations.
And competent external counsel.
You need to appreciate your limitations. They have brought us this far. We have gotten a ruling that says the court has jurisdiction and they're now going to proceed with the matter. I used to be invited to a bipartisan meeting to deal with the border issue. That invitation, it stopped for a little bit, and then I noticed recently.
But they want you see the big fights.
I received an invitation. So, I understand why that is, because they want to keep these things in secret. To replace our external lawyers would be a grave, grave mistake. This is not a cake shop. We are dealing with matters of our territorial integrity and our sovereignty. And therefore, there has to come a time when the PPP understands that friends and family will not cut it. And so I think UTAD needs to really spend time acquainting himself with the rudiments of his job and understanding that you are responsible for a significant portfolio that has serious implications for Guyanese people. And he therefore needs to stop his boorish behavior.
Yeah.
He therefore needs to sit and take counsel from somebody as Carl Greenwich, who has been a stalwart when it comes to our foreign affairs and foreign relations.
Yeah. And you know what is sad? It seems that UTAD is being directed to do everything else besides foreign affairs. He giving out hampers on the highway. I saw him giving out menstrual supplies recently. Everything but foreign affairs got UTAD attention. And then when he has a little time to spare, he going to the ministry there and doing a certain nonsense.
And is behaving boorishly, speaking to staff anyhow. And so, look, Jared,
God help us.
One thing to say. God help us and God help the Guyanese people. Unless we as Guyanese come together and put a check on the PPPC, we are going to be in for some hard times. Can you imagine a government that is so backward in its thinking that they are willing to gamble and risk our territorial integrity and our sovereignty because they want to put their friends as
Yeah.
lawyers?
Yeah. Imagine that.
Are we
Is that a
serious?
government you would trust? That you will continue to report trust it? Madness.
And the point is this: people, their supporters, come up with the silliest of excuses to excuse their behavior, not understanding that when the day of reckoning comes, and the day of reckoning always comes, that they will be among the people who are paying for these types of attitudes and
Yeah.
and mistakes. And
Yeah.
it is sad to see, but I trust that Irfan Ali allows better sense to prevail,
Hopefully.
and that Utah is made to sit down and understand that there's certain things that are non-negotiables.
Correct.
There's certain things that we
Correct.
will not gamble with. And Essequibo is we
Correct.
on, and we intend to take all legitimate actions necessary to keep it so,
Correct.
including retaining competent counsel.
Correct. Correct. That being said, Amanza, I ain't want to close the show on Todd. God knows he ain't worth it. We ain't closing the show on Todd. We closing the show on you. Abanza, I couldn't have you here, and I didn't ask you how the campaign is going. I know that you have thrown your hat in the ring there. You said you were willing to serve. I was made to understand that you were nominated for chairperson, chairwoman of the PNCR. And you hope to be successful at this 21st biannual delegates Congress happening in December. How is the campaigning going? How is the race going?
Well, look, Sharon, I have to first of all say thank you to my brothers and sisters in the PNC. I am simply overwhelmed at the responses in terms of the nominations. I've been nominated for a number of positions in the leadership as well as to the CEC. But I do believe that my skills and my expertise will be best utilized by the party in the capacity of chair. So I wanted to say thank you to the groups for the overwhelming numbers of nominations that I received. And it's going well. It's going well. I think that democracy in the PNCR is alive and well. It is something that the other side cannot boast about. And so I think we ought to take pride as a party in the fact that we have a democratic process and that candidates are
Yeah.
able to state their case and make the pitch as to why they should occupy a particular position or not. So it's going very well. I'm meeting with groups. A number of groups have been reaching out to me to come meet, sit with them. And so that is what I'm in the process of doing because, you know, uh, it's amazing that a number of members of the public and party members have been saying, oh, how can we vote? But really and truly, it is a process that is determined by the delegates. And I want to
Yeah.
make the point that, as delegates, it is important that they have an ear for what the people are calling and not be tone deaf, because very often you hear it said, oh, you could have all of the popular sentiments, but it is the delegates who decide. But the delegates must understand that they have a sacred duty to demonstrate that they are part and parcel of a party that is reactive, that is not reactive, that is proactive, and that has its ear to the ground in terms of you know having their hand on the pulse of the people and hearing what the people want. And so I think as chair, my gifts and talents are best utilized to bring that governance structure that we need to have an effective party. I am ready, willing, and able to support any leader that emerges out of the process, as well as to revitalize and retool the Central Executive Committee, which is sort of the nerve center of of the party. And so I look forward to it. I look forward to the process that is unfolding. I think the party is really at like I said in my thank you, at the dawn of a new era. And I am so excited that the membership gets it. And
Yeah.
that is what is so
Yeah.
exciting for me
Yeah.
about it, that they understand that it can't be business as usual, that this time the long time, that we as members of the party, we have the power to determine who we may want. And so we may want a certain person for leader, but we may not want who he may prefer to work with as chair. And the beautiful part about democracy is that you, as the delegates, get to choose. And so I really do look forward to how it is going to unfold and how it is going to play out. I am confident that we are going to get it right. I'm confident that our delegates will understand that it is not only the membership of the party that determines our success, but those that support us,
Yeah.
that look on,
Yeah.
want to see and know that we are getting it right. And I'm so
Yeah.
excited when you go into
Yeah.
the communities and you hear the people there saying, yes, MP, we like it. We like what we're hearing. We like what we're seeing. And we are ready to change. We're ready to step up and step forward and take this country
Yeah.
forward. And so I am quite pleased. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overjoyed. And just really and truly just happy to be able um, to serve. I've worked in government at senior levels for close to 17, 18 years, almost 2 decades now. And so to be able to bring all of that to the PNCR in that capacity, it is something that I look forward to. So, I'll be keeping you posted on how it's
Great.
going. But thank God,
Fantastic.
it's going
And
well
you
so
know,
far.
I'm happy to hear you say that you know that the delegates and members of the PNCR is going to get this right, because the country is depending on that. And I will dare say this: in government, we didn't get every single thing right, but we got some things right that mattered. And getting a handle on crime, for instance, and cocaine shipping out of this country wantonly, we got some important things like that right. And people can look back and say, you know what? We had everything, but we had some good things that constituted a good life under
And,
the new
and,
AFC
and I
government.
think
So I'm happy to see you guys get things right
one of the
and for us to
most
move on.
important things that I think, the AP and AFC coalition got right, there was such a restoration of national pride. Like
Yes.
you wanted to travel
Yeah.
and let people know where you from. Oh, I am from Guyana.
Yes.
And
Correct.
that,
Correct. Correct.
in a year and a half,
Correct.
it is
Correct. Systems
completely gone.
worked too.
You
Local
understand?
government
It is
was
completely
working.
gone. Local government elections,
Government was
um,
working.
all of these things we were able to bring. And the reality is that to undo 23 years in 5 years is a virtual impossibility. And so I know that the coalition has a heart for the people. This is why I felt very confident in being and becoming, leaving a career and so on to get into politics full time in the coalition, because I believe, like I've always said, we are Guyana's shining hope. And we are the people that will have to take this country out of the quagmire that I guarantee you the PPPC is going to leave us
More. Get us more into that, because we are already there.
more
We
into the
are already
quagmire.
there. We are already
Shania,
there.
I pray every day for Guyanese people, and I will continue to work in the interests of the people of Guyana. And it is hard out there for some of our people. It is very hard. It's hard for a lot of people. People
Yeah.
can't afford to
Things
feed
touch.
their children
Yep.
a spare meal a day. And we have to, I think, as a party, as the PNCR, we have to um, come together and to be able to, as when this Congress is done, and whoever emerges as leader of the party. I'm not running for leader of the party, I'm running for chairmanship, which is a key supporting governance role. And so I am happy to see that a number of the initiatives that came out of the PNCR are now once again gaining traction. For
Mhm.
example, I heard your finale speaking about food replacement. when you recognize that the term simply means feed, clothe, and house yourself.
19,
Produce food. So
1973 all over
produce
again.
local. And so you take a concept that somebody like LFS Burnham birthed it, and now you're naming it food replacement to try to detract from the fact that this is an idea that had been planted in the minds of Guyanese
Yeah.
since the
Yeah.
1970s. And
Yeah.
had we maybe followed through on that, then who knows where we could have been.
Who
But we
knows?
have
Who
a
knows?
tendency to throw the baby out with the bath water. And then we try to reinvent these terms like food replacement. I'm like, Ali, what food replacement? You're talking about feed, clothe, and house yourself and grow and produce locally. And
Euphemisms.
so,
Food
yeah,
replacement.
food replacement. So, Cheryl, look, we'll continue to work for the people of Guyana. We will continue to represent them to the best of our abilities. And again, I really just wanted to thank my brothers and sisters for the nominations. I am overwhelmed. I'm humbled, and I just look forward to being able to continue to serve.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks, Amanza. Thank you. Amen. Thank you.
Anytime, my brother. Anytime.
Thanks for stopping by. And
All
best
right.
wishes, Amanza.
Thank you, my brother. Take good care.
Great. That's it, folks. That's our time this evening. Thanks for staying with us. We went a little bit into the overtime there, but I really wanted to mind Amanza business on how her campaign is going. We haven't heard from her in a couple of days. And we hope to have, before we get into the final stretch for Congress, that 21st biannual delegates Congress of the PNCI, we hope to have some of the candidates come back for leadership and talk with them and to hear their final pitch to delegates and how they think they are faring so far in the race there, folks. That being said, I know you guys are rushing off to other places, other shows and so forth, but I'm going to stick around as per usual for a couple minutes more and to give a shout out to people like Tracy Mullin and Gloria Pott, Odwin Lake and Abiola Clark, Tracy Mullin, Hazel King, Oswina Tapping, folks. Share the live stream. And you guys, by now, we cannot do this without you. And so we appeal to you guys to come on board and to partner with us. And guys, during the course of the next week, you're going to see some more changes in the ring. For those of you who weren't part of our program on Saturday, we have taken out the gloves at the back. Let me pick a side. Let me come to this side. We've taken out the gloves and we've just left the ring, and the whole world is in the ring. That is the concept here. We are literally taking off the gloves in our second year of the program in the ring. And with your help, guys, we're going to be bringing so much more information to you and continuing to tweak aspects of the program because we want a very, very professional approach here in the ring. There are several ways you can help us, and we have several platforms available to you. Those of you not familiar with them, we have the Cash App available. We ask that you guys come on board on a monthly basis, partner with us for $5 US, $10, $15, $20 US, and to help our program to grow and to move forward. We have done this program for a year now, and we're happy to be in our second year. Thanks to you guys who have helped us to do this. Thank you so much, guys. And I am very happy that so many of you, hundreds of you, have stuck around this late in the evening. Morna Monroe and Coretta Braffett and Candy Naleen, Inderjeet and Marky, Erwin Don Cook there. Folks, I'm going to be talking about some issues happening over the river. People are being blocked off from Old Road, just across the Harbor Bridge, from walking there. What's happening in this country? I'm going to touch on that some more tomorrow evening. Nikki Innes, Tracy Mullin, Janet Edwards, all you fantastic folks. Folks, thanks for being in the ring this evening. Share the live stream. Marlon Cox, you had a chance to share the live stream as well as yet. What about Tracy Mullin? You've had a chance to share the live stream as yet. Auntie Sandra Hanover from Diamond. Good to see you, Sandra. We love you, Auntie. Tasha Silat. Good to see you, Tasha. Father Mike. Angela McDonald and Penelope Howard. All you fantastic folks, guys. Stay safe wherever you go. Some of you are on the bus heading to work. Somewhere in the world, in a taxi, in an Uber cab. Somewhere in the world, folks, on the train, watching us. Some of you are listening to us in a headphone, heads down someplace. We are so grateful, so thankful all around the world. You folks watching us, thank you so much, guys. And as you go, remember to share share the live stream. Thanks for joining us. That's our time for this evening. Tomorrow evening, same time, same place. Stay safe.